Hey everybody, Frank here, Godzilla Island for the Mazer Squad, back with a Kodoja review. I reviewed Volume 1 a little while back, and I finally got around to reading Volume 2. Oh boy, am I mad at myself for waiting as long as I did to read Volume 2. Volume 2, I mean, you thought Volume 1 was non-stop crazy action. I'm in the middle of reading Volume 3 right now. Volume 2, I'm going to tell you guys right now, it goes straight into Volume 3. And where I'm at in Volume 3, I don't see it ending anytime soon. This is like, you know, it's an unstoppable train now, Kodoja. Last it ended is an EMP had deactivated it. In this issue, it takes place, I believe, let me see, I'll open up to the first page. 3 months later, at this point, Kodoja is dormant and back in the special weapons base, and Jennifer Cruz is now a national hero for hitting it with the EMP and taking it out. But in here he eventually wakes up. You can't keep this beast sleeping. The conspiracies just continue. The big thing in here is the lumbics. What does the word lumbics mean? We have two scientists go searching in different corners of the world to figure out what that means, and one of them stumbles upon a village where the word was seen, and when he gets there, the village is empty, and he discovers this massive black lake, and he gets close to the lake, and within that lake is just human remains floating, body parts, heads, legs, arms, fingers, organs, and next thing you know, this massive kaiju pops out. It's our next monster, and we find out that Kodoja had reactivated himself because he had sensed this monster coming, and he fights that monster, and then we soon learn that the lake itself was a monster, and that whole village was destroyed and killed by the two monsters there, and it's a non-stop train of monsters from here on out. Volume 3 is just as crazy. I will be reviewing that once I had finished reading that, but I absolutely love this. I'm going to show you guys some of the art here. Let's go into issue 1 where Kodoja breaks out of the base with his laser eyes and just complete chaos there. And we'll jump forward to the issue where there's more kaiju. There's so much more that's going on here. I don't want to give it all away, but I mean, Kodoja basically heads into Russia and puts the United States on alert because they're like, are we about to have a national crisis here? Our weapon is heading into Russia here, and Kodoja becomes unstoppable. We learn about this new weapon called the ZO. It's like this goo that apparently has the ability to melt kaiju, or well, they're not called kaiju, giant monsters, titans. They refer to them as several things in here. Artist for this is different than the original. We have Lance Pilgrim doing art direction, cover art. Jeremiah Lambert doing illustration and inks. Who else do we have? Keith Forster for character design. Rory Smith, Lance Pilgrim. Rory Smith did some of the illustration and inks as well. Very different art style from the first one, but the art style for the first one fitted so well because of the whole theme of the dream and the nightmare. It felt like a nightmare. This awesome shot right here of Kodoja using this blast here. And that's just against the armed forces. This is where we get to the lake I was speaking about. Let's flip there. And here we have heads floating. And then something rises and takes out our scientists. And we have this giant cephalopod. Look at this thing. Really cool design. It's colossal. Kodoja does some pretty crazy moves to take that out. I'm gonna show you the next thing, the lake itself. Oh, let's yeah, so the next thing we have is the lake itself. It turns into this, like, it almost looks like a squid type thing. I don't know if it's a Cthulhu reference. And it is just this blob, and Kodoja's just ripping it apart, but it cannot be beat. And what he does is pretty crazy how he beats this thing. He basically gets his head ripped off on purpose, and he just stands there with a headless body, and as the monster is about to eat its head, the head activates and shoots it in the mouth, and then his neck hole that he has left on his body blasts the monster apart, and then he just goes to town headless, bashing and ripping this thing apart, and then reattaches his head. And it is one of the most gruesome kills we've seen so far in this. We get some notes at the end, and that is the epic cliffhanger there. Kodoja's still on the loose. Where does this go next? Where is he going next? Jennifer Cruz heads out into the field to try to stop him. Next volume is pretty crazy so far from what I could tell you. Keep an eye out for when Keith Foster launches the next campaign, or when it's going to go live. I don't know when or what's in the works. The last was the Symphony of Madness. The next one is Behemoths, I believe. This was Valley of the Giants. Yeah, I believe the volume 3 is Behemoth, followed by Symphony of Madness. I do not know what the 5th volume or arc is going to be called, but I will 100% be supporting that when it's on crowdfunding, Kickstarter usually. Yeah, absolutely read this. I'll link it up down below. I believe you could pick this up right now from Keith Foster's website. Definitely do it. Absolute must read. I do not describe the story or give you a rundown clear enough. This I could absolutely see being brought to TV as an animated series, or even like a dark live action movie or something. It's really damn good, and like I said, it's a roller coaster ride and does not stop. You just want to keep flipping and flipping the pages when you're reading these. Yeah, if you guys have read it, and if you haven't, comment down below, let me know what you think, and I extremely recommend you pick this up. This is a must read for kaiju fans.